up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tectonic Takes, the first episode of the 2023 season. Again, I apologize if we haven't been doing anything in the off season with terms of this podcast, but at least we've been putting out content on Instagram and on Twitter. So if you haven't followed us there, please do. I brought a special guest, a new member of Tectonic Takes, and I'm really happy to have him on board because he's going to be taking over Quakes 2 and helping us with Quakes 1 media as well. But Abram, man, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me on. I've been a big fan of the show, and I'm glad you guys saw my potential and decided to bring me in. I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about you so people get to know you. How did you start your Quakes fandom, and how'd you get here?
In terms of starting Quicks fandom, soccer isn't a big thing in America, but growing up in a Mexican household, it was soccer right away, and my dad's obsessed. And the club chose me. Like, you don't choose your club, so this was like the most local club for me. And I started going to games when I was 11. And then when I was 12, we had that crazy season, the Supporters Cup winning season, Wanda scoring 27 goals. That was a really good time for me to latch onto something because that was a crazy season with the Bash Bros and stuff like that. And then I guess 2 years ago, I started getting really into you guys and and other shows and just really going into the culture of the club, Reddit and stuff like that. And then here I am.
Oh, perfect. And I got to really get to know you really on Discord. We have a Discord, Discord that we talk to. I mean, all of us, right? I mean, we talk pretty daily about everything from transfer rumors to, even little things that happens within the supporters group. So if you haven't, join that Discord, it's free. So please go ahead and join the Discord and be involved with us because we would love to, know more Quakes fans and have more in the group. It's always awesome to see everybody every single day kind of talk about Quakes. And even when I was a fan, I never had that. So it's somewhere where I like to chime in and out when I have the time and make sure that everybody is in the now, understanding what's going on with the club. And that's what this show is about too. So me and Abram both went to the Monterey game. Abram went as a fan, I went as a media, and we both probably have different opinions about the game. We're all kind of here to understand, how the defense played and how Gresso played, and we might have differing opinions on that. So I want to get Abram's first thoughts on the game. What do you think of the game, Abram?
So I was in the Discord, like you said, very much recommend. I was in the Discord giving kind of play-by-plays, because it wasn't televised, so I was writing so much that I felt like people were going to tell me to shut up because I was just giving so much information and, the notifications pop off. I gave our performance a 6 out of 10. I thought that we could have been a lot better against the USL team. Again, I don't think that it necessarily reflects too much on the upcoming season. These guys are still getting together. Gresso, this is his first game with them. I don't know if I think he's trained once or twice with them. So in that aspect, I'm not too worried. But I think that we could have performed better. A 2-1 scoreline. I think we did deserve the win, but we did have to scrape it out near the end, and that's not a position you want to be when we're not competing against USL teams. We're competing against MLS teams, and so, yeah.
Yeah, and this being our first open door friendly, really, this was nice to see the Quakes play in action. And you know what? It was a big turnout. I mean, going from closed door preseason matches to 5,000 fans screaming at you and the Ultras screaming back at them, it was definitely something to be, in awe of. And I like the Instagram post that we had where all the players just look shocked when they first see the crowd because it was truly a big crowd for, Monterey Bayside that's still in its second season. So it was something it was a nice little preseason match, and it was nice to hit the ground running for the Quakes. And I agree with you. I think they were a little sloppy in their build up. I thought Miro and Cade looked really confident on the ball. Christian
Mm,
Espinoza, I mean, got the job done, but I didn't see anything crazy from him. And Jebo slotted it home, so it was something that I thought the guys did their job in the first half. The Monterey goal came from a fluke kind of deflection and a golazo from a player.
yeah,
Jackson Yule wasn't that tight on him, and those things will kind of be tightened up by the beginning of the season, especially in this 3 game span where we're going to play MLS quality out at Goldchella in Coachella Valley, Palm
yeah,
Springs. So I think nothing, like you said, nothing to be worried about the team. I definitely saw some pizzazz and some swagger from Miro, and I like that.
definitely.
Every time I
Yeah,
watch him play, I'm shocked we only got him from $250,000.
right.
So it's like, man, they really let this guy go. And I was pretty shocked with him. And Cade, too. Cade's playing with confidence from that United States men's national team camp. And I think he's not going to slow down this season. The first thing I wanted to talk to you about is Gresso's impact. I know you just said you barely saw him play, but I want to go first on this. I honestly I thought he looked pretty concrete in that back line, but I also thought
Okay.
yeah I also felt like he was like he was the center block there. Nothing was getting by him. He kind of had a chip on his shoulder, and it seemed like I mean he got in a he gave a hard tackle to a USL guy in a preseason match. So I really do like that.
Yeah,
I just didn't see anything crazy where I thought, wow, this is the guy that Craig the Quakes sent the most transfer fee ever for. So
yeah.
maybe they'll come. I know this is a little too soon, so maybe they'll come. But Utzon also
Mm.
did a good role in the second half. I thought with making sure that back line was tight and no crossing lanes were going through him. So, Abram, what do you think?
Yeah, so you talked about Cade, and everyone's watching him right now. Yeah, it's a shame that it wasn't televised so you could see, what he was doing because everyone's talking about him after the his game against Serbia. And the first 10, 15 minutes I was watching, like, he's one of my favorite players. I'm watching him like a hawk, and I'm always hoping the best for him. Um, and God, he's just so fast, man. He is so fast and so strong. You could tell that he really wanted to make an impact right away, and he
Mm,
wanted to do what he did against Serbia and show everyone like what he could do.
yeah,
And I think that after a few of those runs down the sideline, those guys, Monterey, realized, okay, we got to double up. We can't like let him just run through us because if you give him the space, he's going to take it, and you're not going to get it back.
right.
And so once they doubled up and like really focused on not letting him through, it was a problem not just of him, not being able to dribble anywhere and not giving him any space, but also we like to play down the right side a lot more.
Mm,
I've noticed, and if there's like a 50-50, like Miro gets the ball and he's looking left or right, he usually goes right, and that means Cade is kind of out there on his own, um, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, so after like 20 minutes, his impact kind of lessened. Um, about Grezzo, I'm really excited. Yeah, like you said, he looked solid, concrete. There was a play early on by Nathan who kind of just like messed up. I'm not sure what he did. I think he made a bad pass, and then Grezzo just like he was in there like getting it back, and I think he kicked it out for like a corner, but he looked like aggressive. Like there was nothing that they were gonna do to get it past him, and if I was playing against him, I would pass it right away. If I was in the midfield with Grayso, I would not try to dribble ever because he looks scary to play against. And to his credit, they didn't. They kind of went around the sides because if they tried to go through that middle, he was gonna get it.
yeah, and it really opened up Jackson Yule to be creative, and you saw Jackson Yule really
Yeah,
trying to get those long balls in, and he was peppering that defense on the Espinoza side. But back to your point on why they would probably go to the right side a lot more, I think the confidence there. Christian Espinoza has been a rock last season
yeah,
and prior seasons as well, so I think that chemistry is there on that right side, and the left they're kinking out because they still have Trauco on the left, who's a newer addition, and then on the right there was Paul Marie, so it was another person that they trusted and they knew what they were going to get. So left side was still a bit of a question mark, and I think that will change through the season and through this Goldchella trip. I think we'll see Cade and Trauco get some more chemistry together because we're probably looking at that starting lineup there. We had a fan question ask about who do you think is going to be taking that left wing spot. Buddha came in for Cade. All right, so
He did.
I think Benji is going to have that backup striker role. And that's a
Hmm.
role we desperately needed last year because Bobasi was out there 90 minutes every single game. So
Yeah.
Bobasi is going to get tired at games, and I think Kikanovic is finally going to play that striker role a lot more than the left wing. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Buddha on that left side. But I saw Rodriguez on the back line with the ball a lot. So I think
Yeah.
Nathan is not really touching the ball to kind of move it forward. I think that's going to be all Rodriguez. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rodriguez plays well the first couple of games. We're definitely going to pull that permanent transfer right away because if we're going to need a starting caliber ball playing center back, Rodriguez looks like he's going to be that guy. A little
Yeah.
bit of shock
No,
at the
I agree.
yeah, for me, I think Rodriguez. I didn't expect him to hold the ball that much. Maybe Acapo gets some more touches in, and I was speaking to Lucci. Acapo picked up a little bit of an injury, so he's probably going to get some time in with Golchella. So keep an eye out for that. But another thing that was a little bit of a surprise, Abram, was Daniel at starting goalkeeper. So again,
Yeah.
a lot of this people thought was going to happen since we're paying a transfer fee. I know he didn't really get worked in the first half, but what did you think of the first half from Daniel, Abram?
So yeah, like you said, there's not much to think because we didn't, get too much opportunity. Um, the one thing I liked, and I've seen some people like kind of worried about how far he came out, but there was one time where there was a breakaway on the right side. I don't remember what exactly happened. And he was out there. He looked like a center back with that slide tackle. Like he came out and he went for it, no hesitation,
Right.
which is something that we've seen with JT. Unfortunately, he does hesitate a little bit in leaving his area. Um, so I was definitely happy to see that he not only like has the confidence to go for it, but the ability to win it. Um, and that shot, the goal that went in, like you said, it wasn't really his fault. It was a really nice goal. I'm not sure he could even see the ball being shot at him, because just the way the defense was set up, and they really should have pressured that loose ball after it came outside of the box. You could see afterwards, after the goal, everyone's lining back up, and he's just like, "Come on, you gotta push up," you
Right.
know. So you could tell that he saw that as well, and I really don't think that that goal was his fault. Um, I watched him warming up. He looked, fine. Goalkeepers, if they can catch the ball, then that's a pretty good sign. Um, yeah, not much to say on Daniel because he only played the first 45 minutes before they switched back to JT.
Right, and I want to paint the picture a little better for the fans that are listening. It was off a corner kick, and they had a fast break. And then since Daniel was already close to the halfway line, or at least closer up to the half line, he kind of
Hmm.
just went for the ball and was more of a sweeper in that kind of situation. But I like that. I really did. It was risky, but it didn't feel it. I was pretty confident in him getting that ball, and so was he. So it was something to be, that we if we could see that, less corner kick goals against us, that would be nice. Or counters off of the corner kick, which definitely happened in the past couple of years. I can remember Udson just trying to fly back to try to stop a
Yeah,
counter
yeah,
attack on a corner kick right now. But yeah, a sweeper goalie would definitely be a nice little addition to this squad, and maybe it's less. It means less goals in the back of the net. So I think Daniel was pretty solid. I think I wanted to see a little bit more from Gresso because of that high price tag. But Daniel, I think, was okay for his price tag. Again, I'm still going to go back to this, but I'm shocked we got Miro for 250,000 in a couple
right,
of
yeah. No,
because he throws the
really,
whole scale off, right? Like this guy easily could have been playing for I don't know Tigres. He could have been playing
yeah,
for Leon, for $2 million, $3 million. So it's shocking that Leach. I still have to say Leach has a great transfer record.
Yep.
so far. And I kind of asked him this week if he was going to get any more players in, or it was Gresso the last puzzle piece, and he said Gresso's a big piece, but we're always looking to get better. So to me, that kind of sounds like they're kind of set, but they can maybe get some backup pieces. Is there any place on this roster, Abram, that you think could use a little bit of help?
So you and I have talked about this before. So with the Benji Cade situation on the left, we do have Buddha, but in my opinion, as much as I love Buddha for Quakes 2, there is a drop off, undeniably, between um, Benji, Cade, and then there's Buddha under them. There's a reason he's third choice, and I believe he just came back from injury as well, but he seemed okay. What I was saying is that, like, if say we're in a game situation and Benji comes on for Cade at the left side, and then something, God forbid, happens to Jabo, who is the backup striker,
Yep.
right? And we talked about this. Like, it doesn't really matter who it is. We just need a body to fill that spot.
Right.
Um, and we had a trialist in Patino, who
Yeah.
was a very good striker for, I believe, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Um, that would have been perfect for me. That would have been a very good number two uh, to have that striker, even to
Yeah.
come in the last 20 minutes of the game.
It looks like he actually got some offers from a club in Turkey. So it could be that maybe we wanted to, but he wanted to try that out first too. Because every player has a dream of playing in Europe, so it could have
Yeah,
been that as well. Because I think Patino had like 9 goals in 9 playoff games or something like that. So it was a stellar record, and based
yeah,
off of that alone, you would think they would throw him some sort of not homegrown, but some sort of minimum so they can have him on the squad just because he's
yeah,
used to.
something.
Yeah. But yeah, thinking about this roster a little bit, I'm gonna paint this picture for you. Cade Cal was at the U20 championship. He's gone.
Yep,
Who's that left winger? Right? Is that
yeah,
Buddha? It has to be Buddha, right? Because you still need a backup striker all the time. Because you don't want, if you're
yeah,
down a goal late, you don't want to have your striker that's been out there for 75 minutes still trying to get those runs in, and that's not smart. You always want
yeah,
a fresh kind of striker out there. So that's definitely a role. They need an offensive player still. It's not, to me, I don't think it's any shot at the guys we have. It's just we're gonna have
right.
guys missing. Yeah, I just think we're gonna have guys gone for that U20 championship, and who
Mm-hmm.
knows? Maybe Cade gets called up to the senior squad too during the season. So it's something that we do have to think about. Or maybe Benji finally gets a Bosnia call, right? So it's kind of
Yeah,
scary. Abobasi might be called up to Cameroon, so that's something too. So we're really really slim pickings if two guys leave for an international duty because we're just done. Like and with the West getting so good, besides maybe LAFC, maybe they got worse. But besides everybody else in the West getting better, in my opinion, I think we need to shore up that another offensive player would be great. Espinoza's done every game for multiple years, so I'm not too worried about that right wing spot.
mm-hmm.
I'm more worried about things that we know are coming up. Like I think the Gold Cup is this year too. No, mistaken. Maybe it's next year, but we still have Cade going to the U20 championship, so it's still something
Right.
that they worry about, right? So
Yeah,
get they said Elise was on the radar for San Jose, and then this rumor, take this with a grain of salt. They said Falvin, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, and there's no reports after that. So, but maybe they're looking for a left winger, and some sources have told me that they went into the offseason thinking that would be a spot they need to go for. So I still think they're possibly waiting for some trade. What if LAFC purchased some guy and a left winger like Isco comes in? Not Isco's not in a left winger, but a big player comes in to go like Hazard. Let's say Hazard comes in.
yeah,
They're going to probably get rid of their left winger for cheap, but let's see if they sell it to a Western Conference team. Um,
yeah.
so I think we're trying to get a Miro special, which is going to be hard to get, but keep an eye out for left wing to still kind of be a question mark in this Quakes team. Abram, are you excited for anything at Golchella? I know we have a couple of games coming up, but is there anything you want to see from the team that you didn't see in Monterey?
Um, so for me, definitely Guezo is the main thing that I think everyone's going to be looking at to see, you know, how he fills that number six position that we've been lacking for a while since Judson dropped off in 2019, 2020. Um, and I think that how he interacts with Jackson Newell
Mm,
and how what that kind of does to Montero, like we want to
mm,
see this midfield kind of like linked together in a way that like our attacking, um, group has. Jabo, Espinosa, Benji, Cade, Montero, that they have a really good partnership, and it's one of the like better attacks in my opinion in the
yeah,
league. Um, we score goals, no problem.
yeah,
We do, and that's I'm really happy that we have the talent up there, but we have to be able to make we have to be able to support them. If our midfield isn't firing on all cylinders, sorry, um, then it's going to be a really big problem. And I think Grezzo could be a really big piece. And I think that Golchella is going to be the first opportunity for us to see what he's made of, and then how his impact can affect Jackson Newell, and in
right.
turn Montero, and I think by extension then the whole team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like if Grezzo plays well and takes care of the defensive duties, I'm expecting Jackson Yule and Montero to have better years. I mean,
Yeah,
Miro kind of fell off at the second half of the season just because I think it was overworked, and that's why we saw the Nico resurgence. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Those that midfield is pretty. I think it's pretty good. I mean, especially in the MLS. I
yeah.
think we're probably looking at the upper echelon. I may be wrong. It's that's a little Tectonic,
Honestly,
but I think it's a good midfield.
I think a lot of teams would be jealous of our midfield, and I know I'm a Quakes fan, so of course I think that. But no, I think that there are teams who simply don't have um, an ex, U.S. men's national team member as their captain. They don't have a 3 million CDM in Grezzo, and then
Right.
Montero again. Like he could be, playing at a better team, and I'm just happy he's not. I'm happy he's here with us. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. We do have a very strong midfield, um, and finally, for the first time in a long time, it feels like we have a team.
Right.
We're not
Yeah.
worried about how bad we're gonna get embarrassed in the games. We're like, okay, what are we gonna do to these guys? You know,
Right.
like yeah, I think that we have a more of an identity this season than we have in the last. I can't even remember the last time we had a strong team like this.
Right. I no, I definitely agree with you. The only problem is if we get injuries or
Right?
caps or
It's thin.
national duties, then it gets real easy pickings for other teams. I feel like. We got another question from one of our fans. What do you, Abram? I'll let you answer this. What do you think a realistic position for the Quakes is at the end of the season?
So I'm not too sure about the fixture. Like I haven't like looked at it too much in depth. I know that we play Atlanta in our first game.
Hmm.
Um, so that could be. I think that immediately we're gonna we could lose to Atlanta. That's the team that we could lose to, and so that might make people think that we're not going to go too far. I do think about 10th to 8th is a good place for us to aim. If we get into playoffs, I think that's like uh, we could overachieve a bit and get there. I think that's realistic. But my opinion is that we might just miss out,
Hmm.
um, and just some teams might just overperform or beat us out to that position. But I think that it would be really weird if there's not an improvement. You know, at least like we finished 14th.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely have to improve on that. We've made signings to improve on that. Like Daniel is supposed to you know stop a lot of goals from that went in last season. He has a good record at International, less goals than games played. That's good. You can't deny that. And so I'm hoping that that form carries over to the MLS. And so yeah, I think 8th to 10th is where I see us ending the season.
And to touch a little bit on the Atlanta game, if I'm gonna play Atlanta at Atlanta, this is the game I want. It's the first game without Josef, so it's
Hmm.
this team may not know where to attack and where to kind of look for somebody in a big moment. So this is the game I truly do want to play Atlanta, and we might shock the world. We might take 3 points on the road, and that's optimistic. But again, if I want to play Atlanta at Atlanta, this is the game I want because they may not be ready for it. So that's kind of what I think about that first game. And I agree with you. I feel like everybody's gotten better in the West, but this team is ready. They were ready last year, to be honest, with the
Yeah.
addition
Oh,
of Trout go to Capo, but with a full preseason under them and Rodriguez as well, I think this team it looks ready to go. We need some depth, but once we get that, I think we're pushing for playoffs. So again, that's something we kind of always look for every year, but I think this year we're a little more confident in that. Um, we had another question, Abram, about
sure.
this is going to be a short one, okay? So I know this we can talk this all day, but
Okay.
what can someone do to grow the Quakes fandom? This is a tough question, but keep this kind of short because what's one or two things that you think on the top of your head that you can do to grow your Quakes fandom?
So just like as a fan at home.
As a fan at home or a listener, what do you think they could do to help kind of grow the fandom?
Yeah. Short answer is if you're going to the games, then invite your friends to come with you. If you know they like other sports and they're probably not into soccer as much, just invite them to see how much they like it. I know a lot of people have come with me and they really liked it, asked to come later. Um, yeah, that's the simplest way. It's a nice atmosphere. When we're winning, it's there's no other place like it. Yeah,
And I would say too, don't be too scared to bring them to any home game because we actually tend to have a good record at home besides the Matias Almeida days, but eh, taking them to a home game is pretty much a fair bet. I mean, we don't lose too many games at home, so that's
yeah.
something to kind of
And
um,
if they don't like it for whatever reason, then they were never gonna like it. They were never gonna be Quakes fans if they didn't enjoy,
or
the
maybe you needed a couple more beers, so maybe try to
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
little
Make
bit of
sure you stop by the largest bar in North America first, and then go to your seats.
Right, right. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. Another thing would be supporting local media. I mean, that's a big thing. We had a vision. We set out a vision to kind of, give somebody a platform or give anybody a platform that wants to talk Quakes, and that's what we're here for. Again, if you're in our Discord, have people join our Discord. Right? There's really nothing better than talking your favorite team every single day. I mean, I can't stress how much I didn't have that 5-6 years ago. So it's something great that we have now, and it's completely free. Or maybe like Abram said, invite him to a game. Show him a cool clip of Wando and Shay. Who knows? Maybe they like the call, right? So little things will go a long way. And when I say that, I really mean it because there's a lot of little things that we do here at Tectonic Takes and a lot of things that other local media do. So supporting local media in any way possible is great too. Because I mean, I'm not here for money, right? Abram's not here for money. We're all here for loving of soccer and love growing the sport in the Bay Area because it's such a great market and it should be a lot bigger than it totally is. But it'll come with time. The women's team is going to do a great job, I feel like, with growing
Yeah,
that fan base, especially because we have Santa Clara and Stanford here, two powerhouses in the college women's soccer. So I'm excited for that, and that will grow the fan base for sure. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think those little things can definitely help grow the Quakes fan base, and also reach out to a supporters group. I mean, that's a little bit more, but if
yeah,
somebody is a Quakes fan and they really like going, have them join the Fault Liners because the Fault Liners do a great job of being inclusive with everybody. I know
very,
Saz, everybody knows Saz here. Last year, he was telling me, "Hey, man, like I want to go to the games, but I don't really have my buddies with me because they're all in college." Well, now he's one of the capos for the Fault Liners, so or at least honorary capos. But it's a great community out there. I'm glad that they took Saz with open arms, and sometimes I'm even out there too because it feels like a great family. Just like our Discord, just like everything that we put out, we try to make it family oriented or for family, right? So and for growing this kind of environment. But Abram, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We're wrapping around 30 minutes, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. We'll be back next week. I'm actually going to Goldchella this weekend. Unfortunately, the Quakes don't play on the weekend, but we're going to be a little busy next week with a whole bunch of updates. Hopefully, I can talk to some people that saw the Quakes game and tell me what's going on there. But Abram, do you have any final words?
No, I mean, thank you for having me on. I was a big fan of this show and yourself before ever actually meeting you. So I'm really happy for this opportunity. It's actually, I was super excited when you asked me to come on. I was like, really? Me?
Hey,
Um,
hey, I'm a big fan of yours now. All right, all that Quakes 2 content, I love it. I love it. I
no,
even
thank you.
do. So I appreciate you and everything you do for
Yeah,
us.
there's more coming. There's much more coming.
Yeah, so go ahead and follow Abram on Twitter as well if you want to catch up with Quakes 2 and Quakes 1 news. He's going to be helping us out too. Abram, what's your Twitter handle?
Oh God. At it's in French, so it's tough.
Okay.
Uh, at J Sweet Bam. Um, J underscore Sweet underscore Bam. I need to fix it to make it more accessible, but yeah.
No worries. If anything, I'll retweet you and people will see it.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah. Go to Fabi's Twitter as well, and you'll see me on there.
my final words is I'm very very honored to have taken a little part-time gig with Forbes. I try to give betting previews for a lot of games. I'm going to be doing MLS too, so that's the little secret that nobody really knows. I'm going to be doing MLS, but for now I'm doing a whole bunch of European soccer. So I really do appreciate the clicks, because if you help clicks, I can possibly give another person that you know or a writer a part-time gig, because then more people are looking at soccer. So that's why I always try to push it as much as I can, so that other opportunities open up in the world of soccer in America. So again, thank you guys so much for your support and everything you guys do for us. We appreciate it. And all I have to say, Abram, is go Quakes.
Go Quicks.
Thank you.